What's good, fam? Coach Rod here. I want to talk about how long should a Christian woman wait for a man to ask her to marry him. And you notice my topic, how long should a Christian woman? So this video applies to Christians. This video does not apply to non-Christians. This video also do not apply to so-called Christians who wanna be with a woman for 5 to 10 years before he marries her and asks her hand in marriage. It's not for that so-called Christian who want to get husband benefits for 5 to 10 years before he asks that woman hand in marriage. So let me put that out there. And the reason why I say that is because I did a video before, and I said when does a man know he wants to marry a woman? And I said it shouldn't take a man no more than 6 months to know whether or not he want to marry a woman. But a real man, a ready man, a godly man, he could know he want to marry that woman the first time he see her in the first conversation he had with her. And I use the story of Jacob in the Bible to validate that, because that's how men are wired. One way a man fall in love with a woman is through physical attraction. Not the only way, but one way. So, and again, Jacob and Rachel's story sort of validate that. Now, I had a grown boy gonna come on my video talking about, oh, what's wrong with a man waiting 5 to 10 years to know whether or not he want to marry a woman? That is a big decision. I know some people, they rushed to get married less than a year or two, and they got a divorce. It didn't last no more than a year. Then again, I know some people wait 10 years and they got married and they happy and they still married. So this don't apply to the grown boys who want to come in the comment section, who want the benefits of a husband but don't want the responsibility of a husband. These don't apply to that grown boy who want to risk a woman's soul going to hell because he want to wait 5 to 10 years getting benefit from that husband, benefit from that woman before he decide to ask that woman to marry her. Understand me? I'm not talking about that type of man. And just because people waited 10 years to get married and they still married and they've been married for a long time doesn't mean that they happy. Understand me? Because you don't know what's going on in everybody's marriages. Trust me. If a man take that long to marry a woman, if a man take over 2 years to marry a woman, the reason why a man do that because he's not for sure if that's the one he want to be with. Because he leaving his options open just in case if he sees somebody else that's more attractive, or if he sees somebody else that he think the grass won't be greener on the other side, he can just easily move on. He ain't got to go get no divorce and give up half of everything. So that is why a man take longer than 2 years to marry a woman. So again, this applies to the Christians. A Christian woman who's dating and who want to do the right thing and please God, who want to wait until she get married to be able to have sex. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. It don't take a man that long. Now let me say this here. I don't recommend Christians going more than 2 years in a romantic relationship because we are not wired to go without sex. We are not wired, especially when we are in a romantic relationship with someone of the opposite sex. Now, I did another video about 2 years ago, and I put it on my Instagram, and it was like a quick 1-minute video, and I didn't really explain like this. And one of my Christian sisters, she's a beautiful young lady, she commented and she said, well, I need at least 3 years to know whether or not I want to marry a man. And I'm not saying she's wrong. But to me, my opinion, it's hard for Christians to go 3 years in a relationship and not have sex And that sister said, well, you know, that's what I commented. I told her, I replied to her comment, and she said, well, you know, I'm not really all caught up for sex. I can wait. But, and I believe the reason why she feel that way is because she been single for a while, and it's much easier for a woman who been single to go without sex than be with a man in a relationship with a man and go without sex. It's much harder when you are with a man and when you are in a relationship with a man. It's much harder when you are in love with that man. It's much harder to go without having sex with that man, because when we spend time with a person of the opposite sex, our body releases certain hormones, dopamine, oxytocin. When we start interacting with somebody of the opposite sex, spending quality time, you know, hanging out together, talking, just talking by itself, talking, seeing a person of the opposite sex that's attractive, we get hormones in our bodies that call dopamine and oxytocin. You know, that's what releases in our body when we spend time. It releases to our brain, and it makes us want to have a sexual experience with our significant other. So that's why I don't recommend Christians who want to do the right thing to go a long time in a long-term relationship, because you're going to fail. And my Christian sister, all due respect to her, but she's setting herself up for failure. Because even the Apostle Paul said, there's no good thing in the flesh. Put no confidence in the flesh. And when you're trying to go a long time in a romantic relationship with somebody of the opposite sex, you playing with fire. You putting confidence in your flesh. And I'm gonna tell you, your flesh is not that strong. And that's why I recommend Christians to seek God, to pray when they date somebody, and ask God for this discernment, because you don't want to be with somebody a long time trying to go without sex. Now, I don't know women, but I know men. A true Christian man, a God-fearing man, a real God-fearing man could not go 3 years in a romantic relationship with a woman without want to have sex. Y'all ladies might not understand this here because you're not a man, but even a God-fearing man, if he wants to marry you, if he proposed to you within a year, and you say, well, okay, I would accept your proposal, but I need another 2 years to know you my husband, he's not going to stick around those 2 years. If he proposed to you within a year, 6 months to another year, y'all need to set that date, have gotten married, because he's not going to stick around another 2 years to marry you, because a man is not wired that long to go that long without sex. Trust me. It's hard for a man even to go 6 months without sex. And the only man that can do that, if a man that is really, truly a God-fearing man and he's submitted to God. If he's a God-fearing man, yes, he can go 6 months without it or longer. But he got to be submitted to God, and he got to be yielded to the higher power. He got to be submitted up under the Holy Spirit. You understand me? Now, some y'all may, hey, he supposed to be a Christian. He supposed to be a God-fearing man. Listen to me. That don't mean he's a perfect man. He still have a flesh, and he's still a man. See, because King David was a man after God's own heart. The Bible says that he was a man after God's own heart. But guess what he did? He committed adultery. On top of that, then he committed murder. Understand me? He had sex with Bathsheba and then got her husband killed. On top of that, to cover it up. And he was a man after God's own heart. So a God-fearing man can still sin. And I want you to understand this. And the only thing that can keep a man from God, the only thing that can take a man focus off of God is a woman. because a woman is a man weakness, point blank, period. So that's why I did that video. That's why I'm doing this video right here. Again, it's for the Christians. I don't recommend Christians going in the long-term dating, long-term relationships, 5 years, because you set yourself up for failure like that. If you want to do things the right way, you want to do things God way, you should be dating with intention. You should be dating with the intention of finding your husband or your wife, so that way you can please God and y'all can come together and enjoy each other in the sight of God and be in the right standing with God. And that's what a real God-fearing man would do. A real God-fearing man would lead you to the altar, not to the bedroom. Not for no 5 or 10 years talking about he don't know whether or not he want to make you his wife. Baloney. Baloney. So don't let these grown boys come in the comment section with that foolishness. Understand me? Because a real man is a man who's submitted to God. A real man is a man who's God-fearing. And because he submitted to God and he's God-fearing, he's going to let you know within 6 months that he want to be with you. Because he understands that he want to please God. He understands he want to make God happy. He want to make God say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Well done. So he going to understand, like, hey, if I want to be with her, I got to let this thing be known, because I already know she's my wife. So he going to tell her, and this is what I would do in a situation like that. I would say, hey, listen, baby, we've been in a relationship for a year now. I really love you. I ain't going nowhere. You told me you ain't going nowhere. And baby, I want to please God. I want to please God. I want to honor God. And right now, my flesh is my flesh is acting up. Be real with them. Baby, you are gorgeous and you are absolutely beautiful. And I don't know I can go too long without, making, trying to make you, make love to you. Put it like that. I'm trying not to say too much things on, because I don't know what, YouTube, Facebook is about. But you know what I'm trying to say. He'll say something like that. He'll let you know, I want to dishonor. I want to please God with you. I want to dishonor God with you. That's what a godly man would do. So a godly man, yes, he wanted to, but he wanted in the right standing with God. He's willing to make you his wife so he can please God. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's why I say it shouldn't take no more than 2 years for a man to have a ring and y'all be married. Really, 2 years is sort of pushing it, but I'm just giving a lot of people the benefit of the doubt, because a lot of people say, it ain't enough time. But really, a year, it don't take God that long to move. It don't take God that long to let you know and to let him know that God is in this thing. It don't take God that long. So that's my thoughts, my opinion. Listen, if you need coaching, if you want to sign up for coaching on my YouTube channel, I'm gonna put the link in the description box. Just click on the link, and you'll see my profile come up. You see my big head up there on the picture, and then you click book a session, whatever, and you just follow the prompts from there. Book a session with me. Sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with me, so I can talk you through some things and walk you through some things. My Facebook channel, on my profile page is the link to my to the website. The book coaching is going to be like mymentor.life. It's a link to that. When you see mymentor.life, click on that link. On my fan page, also click on the link that say mymentor.life and book your coaching session. Let me coach you. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Coach Rod signing out. Be blessed.